to start off right now by issuing an apology. I apologize for coming on as late as I have because I had expected or actually had scheduled to come on at earlier, about 4 hours earlier. And it totally slipped my mind. But see, that's the beauty about having a podcast of your own that's really not scheduled because it's not real radio anyway. At least that's what I keep saying and what I've heard from somebody else. That being that this is not real radio and it's just, an individual just talking through an internet stream that, well, you be the judge. Anyhow, I'm a AD here with Learning More Chronicles, and I'm about to get underway momentarily and get into it once I upload a couple more things. This is part 2 of an earlier segment that I did on Tuesday. Yeah, back on Tuesday night. I was talking about my ancestral history search. And there's a lot of information that I found out about my family tree that I found to be great, that I found to be rather interesting. I'm not going to take that right now. It's too late in the day. And I just wanted to share with you, those of you who might even be in the same predicament as I am, that's learning about themselves and their family history and that, who might be interested in doing it as a hobby or anything of the sort. If you just want to find out about your lineage, things that you didn't know. I found out a lot of interesting things, and I'm not going to get all into it right now today because this is going to be, well, it's not necessarily anything I'm stringing out. It's just I have so much information. Some of it personal that I won't share. What I will share is the personal experience and the feelings of what I've gone through in my search, in studying, and learning more about my family. And, that adds to, who it is I am, right? Adding to who it is I am and who it is you are. I mean, as far as, if you research your own family history. Still learning things about myself, still learning every day, even though I'm at a particular age in my life and in a particular position, that being, well, I'm kind of slacking right now in some ways in life right now, to be honest, as I'm looking for something to drink, look for some water. I'm actually slacking a little bit. I got to be honest. I'm slacking a little bit. In some ways, it might be a lot, depending on who you speak to, who you ask. But I'm slacking off a little bit in my life now because I'm tired of punching the clock. I'm tired of working. I'll be honest with you. I'm tired of going someplace and making somebody else money. So I plan to do something else about that. But that's a whole other tangent. I don't know if I'm going to get into it today. But what I wanted to do is come on today because I did have it pre-scheduled to come on. Yeah, I almost started to eat some sunflower seeds. I was actually sitting here eating some sunflower seeds, enjoying them, and looked over at my computer and noticed that, hey, I had a show scheduled today that I was supposed to do. So I just cranked up the old Victrola, and I'll be getting started momentarily. But first, this. See how that works out. First, this. Bolster your immune system. Help alleviate stress. Take in those minerals and vitamins that you really need. Nutrients like vitamin B, omega fatty acids 3, 6, and 9, and many more nutrients. More Beauty now offers hemp seed oil. We all know that health is wealth. We must do all we can to maintain it. More Beauty offers 100% hemp seed oil, a natural option. Hemp seed oil, available from More Beauty. Order yours today from theembassyofthemoors.org. theembassyofthemoors.org. As I'm finishing up some sunflower seeds, got to grab a handful of them. Getting started with them. I think it's rude. It's rude for me to be eating them right before you right now on the air, huh? Well, I don't mean to. At least I'm putting my shells in their responsible place. Well, anyway, starting to come to my attention that I got to brand some things here because some of my ideas, I have a lot of ideas that run through the course of my mind throughout any given day. I never thought I'd have to really consider branding stuff or becoming a brand because It seems like the transference of things in life can require one to become a brand of themselves, right? And so that they can thrive, I guess, and be of a certain social economic position in life to become a brand, right? I guess. And I think it's that type of outlook that gets us out of who we truly are supposed to be as people, as human beings. Yeah, that's just my social commentary for the day, I guess. As I'm just sitting here going through my mind and thinking things through quasi philosophically and considering my approach to life. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I was not born having certain advantages. But before I go any further with that, let me give y'all a mindful moment. And it seems like this is a this. Let me skip this one. I'm gonna get another one because I read that one before. Here we go. Oh man, I missed. Looks like I missed a good one. Okay. It says here, mindful moment. Okay, this is my mindful moment. You're hearing it from me, brother AD. Mindful moment. Each time you meet someone new, think to yourself, this person has feelings, emotions, and thoughts just like me. Thoughts just like me, not thoughts. Thoughts. So each time you meet someone new, think to yourself, this person has feelings, emotions, and thoughts just like me. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So that's your mindful moment. And everyone was thinking it. I just said it. So that's the brand we're going with here. I'm not going to really be too controversial today. I don't believe I uh, am going to be or that provocative. I'm just going to say what it is I want to say from here in this space that I have on Learning More Chronicles, which is a platform that I am building. It's not built yet. It's not completely done. Working some things through. And as another reminder, as I'm hearing more and more and more and more and more and more emphasis in people being that are in popular culture being arrested for it, someone you care about is likely experiencing domestic violence, whether you see it or not. We're in the last few days of October, well, it being the 21st, 10 more days left, a lot of emphasis on other things. But this is maybe a sage reminder to those of you out there who might be listening that this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Okay. So someone you actually care about is likely experiencing some pattern, some form, shape, or form of domestic violence, whether it be mental or physical or both. So just kind of bear that in mind, especially as we get into going by the Gregorian calendar, as we get into the holiday season. And let me see, comment. All right, brother Adele. Thank you, brother. Peace and love to you, man. Peace and love to you. Thanks for tapping in. I was supposed to tap in earlier. I apologize for coming on a bit late, but better late than never. So just keep that in mind as you probably may, or in general, people out there that may or may not know someone that's going through anything like this, especially this time of year, especially during this dilemma, the social dilemma that's going on right now. And it repulses me to kind of touch in on the fact that they're trying to administer this crap to pregnant women and kids now. Now it's more official that it's actually getting disseminated, and they're going to actually inoculate pregnant women and children of a certain age. Now, I believe the last I heard was 5 years old, 5 to 11 or something like that. Anyway, the right to having a free choice has been largely eroded, it seems. That's what they're attempting to still take away, as this whole construct tends to morph into new and different and interesting ways. I ran across an item, and I actually just did a screen capture of it and posted it to my Instagram, but I'll just read you the blurb right here. It says that Royal Caribbean announces 9-month-long Ultimate World Cruise visiting 150 destinations. And that's according to a Fox affiliate in Los Angeles. They're on their news, so you can probably find it yourself if you'd like. Royal Caribbean announcing that they're going to do a 150 destination boat cruise. I didn't even bother opening up the article. I didn't bother. Most times I actually don't, unless, if anything warrants any further research, I research it from other places. Not necessarily the mainstream corporate media source. We need free news. We need free instant investigative news. We don't have that nowadays. Well, you do on off channels. I just recently ran across a social media platform that touts advocacy for free speech. And I was glad to see that. What also lended a little bit of credence to me is that this particular platform that I ran across is banned, I think, from they're banned from another platform because of their stance on free speech. Also, something interesting too, speaking of free speech, and you knew that this was going to happen. You knew that this was going to happen. You had to know that DJT was going to start his own social media platform. It was in the cards. You had to know that this was going to happen at some point. And it was announced, I believe today, that he's going to start his own social media platform. So that ought to be really interesting. And I'm sure there's going to be enough people, plenty of people to try to sabotage it. Not to say that I'm a Trump fan, not to say that I'm of a particular party. Actually, I had been a Democrat. I didn't vote in this last election. And I don't anticipate voting for any major primaries anyway. But that's my choice and my business, and I won't ask anybody else, what their voting preference is or what have you. But just understand that voting has consequences. Elections have consequences, right? So that being said, I'm just kind of like not really all over the place, but I'm just kind of going over some greater news that I've run across here throughout the day. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor to serve 2 more years after murder conviction overturned. And that's today's news as well. It's my opinion, having read the account of the case itself, what was provided was essentially, it was more of a situation where there was a tactical blunder. As from what I understand, he reached over his partner, while sitting in the driver's seat of the vehicle, the patrol car, and shot rounds towards the what he believed at the time was a suspect of that was obviously armed. They reacted, and around the same time that they heard what they thought were gunshots, and the result in it was somebody unarmed being killed. So it was a mistaken judgment, a mistake in tactical positioning. That's my opinion on that. And apparently it looks to me that the court of law probably saw that, but I'm sure people are going to run to the racial component applied or associated with this case. But I'm actually beyond that right now. I'm not even thinking about the racial aspect. I'm looking at specifically what I believe the facts more likely are. Speaking of gun cases, there's something circulating on social media about a gentleman in Yuma, Arizona that did a gun takeaway masterfully, as I might add. Apparently, the gentleman was standing in line. 2 assailants entered the store, one of them armed with a handgun. And the man that was standing in line, who apparently was a Marine Corps veteran, had successfully disarmed the assailant, which is, gun takeaways are possible with somebody that's trained, and it helps to have even very focused training. But gun takeaways are something that can actually happen, as proven in this situation here that was captured on video that wasn't grainy. It was actually in a convenience store, and the video actually wasn't grainy. Grandmaster J, indicted by grand jury, faces 20 years in prison. 20 years in prison And I'm sure there's going to be a number of people out there, a number of you out there that believe that that entire situation was a staged event. I'm not saying it's beyond being possible. It's possible that it could be a staged event. I just don't have anything factual to prove that. And that won't be seen probably for another 20 years. Minimum of 5, depending if Freedom of Information Act paperwork is filed and the information is released. So, I mean, we're still finding out more stuff about, let's see, Dr. Martin Luther King, that he actually didn't die right there with his head on the slab on the second story of a seedy motel in Memphis. In actuality, it was suggested, and actually, I think someone was deposed. I don't quote me, but it was circulated commonly that he was basically killed at the hospital. Right. So he didn't really die. He didn't really go DOA. But hold on a second. I have trouble putting these sunflower seeds down because I know they're good for you. But yeah, I have trouble putting them down. They're really tasty. So yeah, this whole matter regarding Grandmaster Jay, to me, is as I get rid of this particular screen here, this screenshot. This particular matter involving Grandmaster Jay, again, from my observing it and reaching what I believe to be a qualified opinion on the matter, is that weapon should not ever, ever, ever been pointed upward. If it wouldn't have been pointed upward the way that he had it, wouldn't be in this situation. He wouldn't be in the situation where he's facing 20 years. I didn't open up the article completely yet, but I'm wondering if it's 20 years Fed time or state time. A lot of these states that actually have strict gun laws, you'll probably serve a good portion of the time. But we'll see. We'll see what transpires off of this case during a presidential administration that's in advocacy for gun control. I think it's all a matter of timing, huh? It's all a matter of timing, and it's safe to probably maybe assume, if we can be left to assume and speculate, that this was probably a staged event, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So that pretty much more or less is my version, I guess, of hot topics, I suppose. I don't want to go that well. In-N-Out Burger, one of my favorite burger places of all time, is taking a stance. They're refusing to become the vaccination police for any government, according to a spokesman of In-N-Out Burger. And I'll tell you what, I've been having In-N-Out Burger since around high school. So that was actually a pleasant surprise to see that. And they're allowing people to have the ability to think freely and not be compelled by government to do things that they don't feel is healthy to them or to their best benefit as far as health goes. All right. Brand ambassador, huh? Finding stuff all the time. Let me put that aside real quick. Right. So actually, the main idea of me coming to y'all today was to talk about my ancestral history search, letting y'all know what I found out, not necessarily being too specific because I don't want to put all my business out there. But I want to basically, I keep wanting to use this word, and I can't remember if I've ever looked it up or not. Let me see something here. Here we go. I want to see this. I'm doing a word search right mid-sentence, believe it or not. This is the beauty about the internet. You stop, because that's what happens when I'm kind of a frustrated writer. Oh, no, that's not it. Let's see. I won't waste your time. What I was actually getting into was further into my my quest in learning myself, learning my ancestry, and I got one family member that's actually on board with that with me. They've agreed to help me out a little bit because it costs a little bit of money to maintain this effort. It's roughly anywhere between $250 a year. If you pay the monthly bill, to have access to the information, which is public information, which is, it kind of bothers me that you have to pay a particular firm X amount of money to find out about yourself. But a lot of these documents are commercial documents. They're documents within the realm of commerce. They're public documents. That in and of itself means you have to pay a fee for it to get it. So, and plus it's free enterprise anyway, right? These businesses are out here and they're selling your genealogy information to you, even though you're part of that tree. But anyway, I plan on talking about it here. Let me take a brief moment, get some things together, and I'll be right back to you. Okay. I promise. again, back for more. Just have some more conversation, some more random organic conversation about some things that I'm experiencing in everyday life. And in addition to, I don't know, maybe something that you might want me to discuss. So in the unlikely event that someday you would like to, you know, have me bring up something in conversation, or if anything interests you that you'd like for me to get into further, or if you even have your own topics, ideas, questions, or anything that I've discussed, or anything that you might want me to bring up in a future presentation, you're welcome to let me know at the email indicated above, noblemormon@gmail.com. And as always, um, this takes a little bit of effort financially to put this together, the minimum of which being a light bill. So if you would even consider, just even consider, dropping me a couple bucks to my Cash App, I'd really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, and it will go a long way. My YouTube channel, Learning More Chronicles, is also can be reached through Facebook as well. So yes, whenever it is that you might run across this and you come into the room, I'd appreciate it if you'd at least click the like button and maybe share this with somebody that you know. At some point, I might be hitting on all cylinders and bring up something of interest to you or somebody else. So like, share, and if you can, drop me some coins or whatever you might have laying around right into the Noble Mormon box there, the Cash App. All right, I appreciate that. Anyhow, let's see. I was getting into this being the second presentation on this topic. Hope maybe of many. I don't know how much longer I'm going to really be. Well, actually, I am, because I'm still actually researching, and like I've talked about in the previous edition, I actually got back clear to around 15, the latter part of the 1500s was when one of the folks in my ancestral tree was born, as was documented. And as it turns out, well, their racial background, as I would learn, is uncertain, because the documentation that I reviewed actually shows them in a particular area of the planet, which is not necessarily one that's comprised of completely of melanated people. But I'm still searching, because I found something else even earlier than that, showing that my let's see, the emergence of those that were, my ancestors had emerged roughly 50,000 years ago. And in reviewing this, I'm not really letting out any real secrets here, but I had some testing done over 10 years ago in response to a television program. I believe I called on PBS or maybe even National Geographic. Anyway, now that I'm looking back at the names that were involved with putting this together, as a quote unquote research partnership, I'm thinking, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have sent my spit on the stick in to these people. But you know what? I don't have any regrets for doing that, because it was through this very thing that I did, sending in my information, or that spit on the stick, I call it, I was able to find out, well, get some more tangible results than what I had before I did it. You see, my mother put together, back in 1981, she typed up something which only went about 3 generations back from me. And my mother and I are not really that far apart in age. She was a teenage mother, and she only went back, well, essentially to her grandfather, great grandfather, actually great grandfather. So to be honest, I mean, yeah, I mean, she went back pretty far for the information that she was able to get, and for the position that she was able to do it in at the time. She did get more information since, but not much further back than I have gotten, which is to the latter part of the mid 1500s. So it says here that I am part of a haplogroup E, E as in Edward, haplogroup E Edward, parentheses M96. So as is expressed, EM96 haplogroup. And it goes on to say, your Y chromosome results identify you as a member of haplogroup E. The genetic markers that define your ancestral history reach back roughly 60,000 years to the first common marker of all non-African men, M168, and follow your lineage to present day, ending with M96, the defining marker of haplogroup E. Now, going along with some subsequent research that I did through a commonly available database, commercial DNA database, commercial family tree builder, I was able to somewhat corroborate what this letter that I got says. It was a genographic project. And there was a map that was enclosed, and it says, the letter goes on to say, if you look at the map highlighting your ancestors' route, you will see that members of haplogroup 3 carry the following Y chromosome markers: M168, YAP, M96. You are destined from an ancient African lineage. Today, the YAP marker is most common in sub-Saharan Africa. Smaller populations of men carrying the YAP or YAP marker can be found in Northern Africa. What's a haplogroup, and why do geneticists concentrate on the Y chromosome, and their search for markers? For that matter, what's a marker? Each of us carries DNA that is a combination of genes passed from both mother and father, giving us traits that range from eye color and height to athleticism and disease susceptibility. One exception is the Y chromosome, which is passed directly from father to son, unchanged from generation to generation. Unchanged from generation to generation, repeating. Now, again, that corroborates the information that I had found that was years subsequent to this letter that I got, because I've managed to trace my paternal lineage, which went further than my maternal lineage, right? So I traced my father's bloodline or family. Well, this isn't attributable to bloodline, what I understand, by spitting on the stick. But anyway, I'm not a geneticist or anything like that. I'm just going by what I believe is factual data. But following the chain, the tree branches up along my father's family tree. I was able to get as far as I did. So anyway, goes on to read. Let me see if here we go. Unchanged. That is, unless a mutation, a random, naturally occurring, usually harmless change occurs. The mutation, known as a marker, acts as a beacon. It can be mapped through generations because it will be passed down from the man in whom it occurred to his sons, their sons, and every male in his family for thousands of years. In some instances, there may be more than one mutational event that defines a particular branch on the tree. What this means is that any of these markers can be used to determine your particular haplogroup. Let me change this real quick. One second. I want to give you that. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, you can be used to determine your particular haplogroup, since every individual who has one of these markers also has the others. The geneticists identify such a marker they try, or when they identify such a marker, they try to figure out when it first occurred and in which geographic region of the world. Each marker is essentially the beginning of a new lineage on the family tree of the human race. Tracking the lineage provides a picture of how small tribes of modern humans in Africa tens of thousands of years ago diversified and spread to populate the world. As we all know, African is the origin of mankind, right? A haplogroup is defined by a series of markers that are shared by other men who carry the same random mutations. Did I read that? Okay, yeah. But I'm not using the teleprompter. I'm just reading off of this letter here, this document. The markers trace the path your ancestors took as they moved out of Africa. It's difficult to know how many men worldwide belong to any particular haplogroup or even how many haplogroups there are because scientists simply don't have enough data yet. Wow. Let's see. One of the goals of the 5-year genographic project is to build a large enough database of anthropological, let me pronounce that right, of let me back up. Anthropological genetic data to answer some of these questions. To achieve this, project team members are traveling to all corners of the world to collect more than 100,000 DNA samples from indigenous populations. In addition, we encourage you to contribute your anonymous results, and they were anonymous, by the way, to the project database, helping our geneticists reveal more of the answers to our ancient past. So that's just part of the letter. I'm going to go into it probably in another episode. I didn't want for this to be too long at all, and I didn't want to be long-winded. I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you and make this essentially a multi-parter in case those of you out there might even have some expressed interest or even the slightest interest in researching your background, your ancestors, and I want to be able to share my experiences of that with you all. So thank you for tuning in today. I know majority of you are able to probably catch this later after the live stream, being that this is Thursday. If I don't come back, and please set your notifications because I might even come back later tonight, or I might come back sometime between now and the end of the weekend. Definitely by Tuesday, I'll be back to carry on with another edition of this very same presentation, my ancestral history search. So for now, I'm going to sign off. I wanted to keep this relatively short, which is relatively short for me, within the span of an hour. So we'll see you again, hopefully sooner than later, as I always say. Peace.